Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. People done gone crazy. People done gone mad. People don't forget the superpowers we all had. We were born to love, not hate. We can decide our fate and look for the good in everyone. Celebrate all our mistakes. There's a silver lining. You still have to find it, find it, find it. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. Always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone.
Welcome to Spiritual Soul Center, where we are here to create a movement grounded in love and kindness that transforms us, our community, and the world. Right? You've heard it before. I hope it's emblazoned in your mind and in your brain, in your forehead right here. We are here to create a movement grounded in love and kindness that transforms us, our community, and the world. Let's say that together. Ready? Deep breath in. We are here to create a movement grounded in love and kindness that transforms us, our community, and the world. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done.
So now we're going to pray. Let's take a deep breath in and out. And this week, I've been made aware of several people in our community who we can send our loving energy to. And really, it's really not even about sending loving energy to, so much as seeing that loving energy in them, to see it rising up in them. Let's together not send them light, but see them as light. See them as the love and wholeness that they already are. To know that the healing power of the divine flows through them and us, ever present, always available, as strength, as hope, as peace, as love, as wholeness. We see that rising in ourselves, we see that rising into their consciousness, and know that the divine is right there all along. For this, we are ever so grateful, and so it is. Amen.
Just keep praying there. The check's in the mail. There are times it seems when everything's lost, and I'm moaning on toss, and I see between the river and the ravens I'm fed, between oblivion and places I'm led. So Father, give me faith, providence and grace. The river and the ravens I'm fed. Sweet deliverer, you lift up my head. Lead me in your way.
Yeah, aren't you feeling good? feeling good. I'll smile. Come on now. Say, yes, God, we feel good. Yeah, okay. Well, here's an opening line for you. Your soul does not understand the word struggle. Your soul does not understand the word struggle. Your soul only understands yes, yes, more of that, yes. It doesn't have a word for struggle. It doesn't have an understanding of struggle. It doesn't have an understanding of ease, for that matter, either. You know what your soul understands? Life. Like life. That's what your soul knows. Living life. That's what your soul knows. So why do you struggle? That's a good question, right? That's what came up next for me. Like, why do I struggle then? Well, we struggle because we expect things to be different than what they are. Right? We expect them to be different what they are. We feel not good enough, and so we struggle because we're not good enough. We struggle because we think we have done something wrong. Right? We think we've done something wrong. Or maybe something's wrong with me. That's a favorite one of mine, unfortunately. Not all the time, but sometimes. We believe life isn't fair, and we want to answer to everything, all the why questions. Yeah. Why? Why? Why me? Why that? Why her? Why this? Why now? Like, we want all those answers to that. It's not to say that life isn't hard sometimes, because hard things happen in life. Hard things happen in life. Yes, it's not about that. But the reason we suffer is because we don't like the way we feel. You see, struggle is not a feeling. Struggle is not a feeling. I don't feel struggle. I feel pain. I feel disappointment. I feel frustration. I feel confusion. I feel those kinds of things, right? But those are feelings. And because they're uncomfortable feelings, we say, I'm struggling with this. Well, I ran across a quote on my daily calendar. Christine Lyons would be happy because she's the one that gave it to me. I told you it's a 2021 calendar, but I'm still using it because it still has some great quotes on it. Here's one from Andy Warhol, and he says this: sometimes people let the same problem make them miserable for years when they could just say, so what? That's one of my favorite things to say. So what? Right? It's like, so what this happened? So, or my favorite one, so what now? So what now? Like, why do we have this expectation? This metaphor came to me when I was preparing this lesson. Why do we have this expectation that my nice cotton shirt hanging on the clothesline on a sunny spring day with just a little bit of breeze, why do we expect life to be like that? When usually we throw that same shirt in a dryer and it gets beat against metal at 150 degrees. Like, huh? Right? I mean, that's the metaphor that I'm going with. Life is beautiful and sometimes it's hard. But we don't have to struggle unless we decide to. We don't have to struggle because struggle is not a feeling. We can feel what we feel and we can live life. And we can live life. Okay? It's a both and. It's a both and kind of thing. And there are many things that are hard that are worthwhile. There are many things we do that are hard that are worthwhile. The first thing that came to me is motherhood. And I'm not a mother, but I'm guessing that all of you who are mothers would say motherhood is not always easy. Yeah, right. Isn't it worthwhile?
Yes.
Isn't it worthwhile? Wouldn't you do it again? You know, because that's life. That's what it entails. That's how it works. What about studying for a degree? Studying for a college degree, studying for your high school graduation, studying for your master's, it doesn't mean it's easy. Some of that is hard. I told you one time when I was doing my master's thesis work master's work in environmental science and policy, my advisor said, take this class the first semester, biogeochemistry. I said, I don't even know what that is. You know, it had all these chemistry prerequisites. He said, oh, you can do that. I'm like, it was hard. but it was worthwhile. It got me that degree that I wanted to have. What about caretaking? Anybody have, caretaking is not an easy job. Caretaking is not an easy job. Is it a worthwhile job? Yes, it is. So just because it's hard doesn't mean that it's not worthwhile. And it doesn't mean that it has to be a struggle either. We don't have to call it that. It's a struggle because we call it a struggle. The soul says, so what? It's life. This is how life looks right now. It doesn't have to be a struggle. So the message today is this: stop struggling. I forgot my stop sign. Stop struggling. And what does it take to stop struggling? Release your white-knuckled grip on whatever it is you're holding on to and release it. Let it go. Maybe walk away from something. Maybe stop trying to make it different for somebody else. You see how that works? You got to release the white-knuckled grip you have on those things that your mind is telling you, because this is how the mind works. The mind is not going to help you release the struggle, because the mind only wants things to be a certain way. It has its own rules. It wants it to be a certain way, right? That's the way the mind is. The mind says, well, this is the way it should be. This is what I want. These are the rules. This is what the mind does. It wants to have everything in order. It wants everything to be managed. It doesn't want any surprises. It wants everything to be smooth. That mind is going to go to struggle right away, because life is not any of that. And the place that we go to in order to not struggle is the heart, because the heart is the place that will lead us out of struggle. Not the mind. The mind is a terrible leader in that. The mind will keep you doing this. Why, and trying to answer that why question. The mind will keep you turning around and round and round. But if you drop into your heart, like last week I talked about the breath, right, and listening, how you just take a deep breath and drop into your heart. And you know what your heart says? Oh, I wonder what this is about. How could we be more loving with this? Wonder how this might work. Could I be curious about this? Could I just sit for a while with this? That's what your heart's saying, because your heart is the direct connection to the soul, and the soul's saying, yes, give me the experience, whatever it is. Because I'm not making a judgment about it. I just want to live it. I'm here to experience it. The mind doesn't do that. But the heart does. The heart does. And if we go there, we don't have to convince ourselves in our mind, I really need to let this go. I really need to, because the mind wants to figure it all out. But you're not going to, that's not where the release happens. Without a change in heart, nothing will be released. Nothing. Because the next time it happens, or the next time you run into this, or the next time somebody gives you a trigger, right, you're right back to where you were, because your heart's still the same. You've only changed your mind. And the heart being the portal to the soul, that's where your strength is. Your strength is in your soul. Your soul is the place of hope. Your soul is the place of possibility. Your soul is the place of love existing as you right this very minute without any obstacles at all. There's a great story in the book by Margaret David Hiller called Dare to Dream, and it is the Hopi wisdom of the elders. I've read this before, probably many years ago, but I want to read it again to you. It says this: there is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they're being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know that the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, and keep our eyes open and our head above the water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves, Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for. God, isn't that great?
Yes.
This is what it's about. This is a heart story here. This is a heart story. This doesn't happen in the mind. This happens in the heart. Because I do feel those feelings related to struggle. But the wisdom here is to push off of the shore, to let go. Life is not a struggle. We struggle. Life is just life. Let go of the shore. That's what this is asking us to do. Now, we all know a river does not always run smoothly. There are rapids and there are waterfalls and there are all sorts of things in the river. But we've got to let go in order to be in the flow of life. When we struggle, we hang on to the shore. We hang on for dear life. To what end? There we're alone. We get beat about. When we push off into the river, that's where we find our tribe. That's where we find the people to be with, to help us, for us to help them. You know, Karen Drucker has a great chant called, and it goes like this. It goes, let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. If I could sing it, I would, but I'm not going to try. It'll be on tape. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let the divine carry you. Let your soul be your informer. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. See, I think that's the problem we find is the mystery is the uncertainty, and we are a little afraid to go there. Well, what's going to happen if I let go? What's going to happen if I let go of the shore? What will I know? What will I know? Who might be there? How? Yeah. It's the mystery that I think we're afraid of. That's where the mystery is. But here's the great thing about this story is that's where your tribe is. Maybe it's the Soul Center tribe. Maybe it's your work tribe. Maybe it's your book group tribe. Maybe it's your neighborhood tribe. Maybe it's your family tribe. Your tribe will be there. People you can depend on and others who can depend on you. Because, as the story says, the time of the lone wolf is over. See, we have been hoodwinked. We have been told a lie. We have been tricked and deceived into believing that we have to do it all ourselves. All of it. That's the only way. We've got to do it all ourselves. This idea of independence. It's not true. The time of the lone wolf is over, is what this says. We're done with that. Depend on your tribe. Depend on your tribe. Finally, in that water, can you imagine yourself pushing off, being in the stream with your tribe? That's the point the mind lets loose. Because the mind no longer has a footing anywhere. You are floating in the flow of life, and the mind's got to give up. That's the point that the mind becomes a servant to the heart. Becomes a servant to the heart. Banish the word struggle, let go of the shore, and float in the mystery. Just a little bit of work. But there are people who do it all the time. I have a couple stories for you. I always believe in the kind of extreme stories that really tell us that if this person could do this, can I do it with my life right now? If this person can do that. There was a man, his name is Richard Phillips. He spent almost 46 years in prison for a murder he did not commit. 46 years of his life he spent in prison. He was finally exonerated. He maintained his innocence the whole time. He said, I am not going to sit in prison having admitted to something that I didn't do. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. Almost 46 years he was in prison. But in this story says the prison walls could not contain his creative spirit. I have to think he let go of a lot in order to be able to survive. And actually, he became a painter while he was there. He began painting. He says this, to stave off loneliness. He painted to fill the long days. He painted to keep his heart soft and hope alive. Now, if that isn't letting go of the shore, I don't know what is. And when he got out, he didn't hold any bitterness. He has a website with his paintings on. 46 years. Who could keep their heart softened and hope alive for that long? Well, Richard Phillips did. Richard Phillips did. So I asked myself, what am I holding on to so tightly that's worse than that? In my life, a big fat nothing. The freedom I've had, it's too long even to list. Here's another story. This one has to do with the crash of an Ethiopian Airlines back in 2019. And this family was traveling from Canada back to Kenya, to their home. It was the mother, Carol, her mother, Anne, and her 3 children. The youngest one was 9 months old. First time that the family back in Kenya would see the grandchild. They all perished in that crash. The whole family, 3 generations. The mother, the grandmother, and the children. So, in Kenya, the family's devastated. Of course they are. We can feel devastation. But there's a constant stream of visitors that came to see this family. More than 100 people have poured through each day over the week. And inside, there's a group of women making huge pots of tea, and they sit and share memories, and, that's what they're doing. They're there with the family. That's the tribe, right? That's their tribe. And after a while, the discussion turns to the safety of this Boeing 737 MAX, which we know about more this time, this many years later. But Carol's brother says that he has no interest in pointing fingers after his family's tragedy. Let go of the shore? The same week, let go of the shore? He said, I might not know exactly whether to blame the plane, but let the experts finish their investigation, and then we'll know how to move forward. I mean, come on. Let go of the shore. Of course they're devastated. Of course they're grieving. Of course they are sad. Of course, and they're being supported by their tribe. But are they struggling? Well, struggle is not a feeling, like I said. To be surrounded and to support it and to decide that the first place I'm not going to go is to blame is letting go of the shore. And being able to float in the mystery that is life, tragic as it is at that point in time. So again, I ask myself, what is so tragic in my life that I continue to hold tightly on to? What is it that I cannot let go of? What is it that I cannot walk away from? What is it that I cannot stop trying to fix and make the way I want it to be? I would say these 2 examples are pretty extreme about what is possible when we drop into our heart and get out of our mind. As life would have it for me, I was on Facebook for a little while, and I'll close with this quote from Ram Dass that popped up on my feed. He says this: you can do it like it's a grand wait, or you can do it like it's part of the dance. It's really your choice. Let go of the shore. Float in the mystery. Stop struggling and allow your soul to lead the way. The curiosity, the acceptance of whatever's in front of you. and to know with certainty that your tribe is there. Your tribe is there. So let's have some time for meditation on that, yes? Let's sit together. And let's consider this challenge to banish the word struggle from my vocabulary and from my attitude. It's okay to feel what I'm feeling. Joy or sadness, grief, loneliness, overwhelmingness, whatever it is, it's okay. But the struggle does not have to be. So breathing in and breathing out to make a decision right here, right now. Set aside to banish that word, to banish that attitude. And to hear my soul say yes, yes, yes. They asked her, "What does letting go mean?" She answered, "Letting go does not mean erasing a memory or ignoring the past. It is when you are no longer reacting to the things that used to make you feel tense, and you are releasing the energy attached to certain thoughts. It takes self-awareness intentional action, practice, and time. Letting go is the act of getting to know yourself so deeply that all delusions fall away.
Walking down Royal Street, the streets sing a symphony. Ain't been the hardest way, had the greatest day. Walking past memories, the pain that she gave to me. Don't you know I'm trying to be the bigger man? I just wanna feel her spirit. I just wanna feel her spirit. I just wanna feel her spirit washing all over me.
Well, let's close as we pray this way, yeah? May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy. And so it is. Amen. Till next time, yeah?
I just wanna feel the spirit. I just wanna feel the spirit washing all